This just in, Nez Nation, holy macadamia nut. This is really revolutionary breaking news. The CEO of Meta, he is the fourth richest person in the world, formerly known as Facebook. Obviously, it's called Meta now. They own Instagram, they own Facebook, they own Oculus, which my daughter literally right now as I'm recording is using, a virtual reality headset that's the Quest 3, Quest 4, all that good stuff that totally destroyed Apple's virtual reality headset, has just said something in an interview that if it's not an endorsement, there's something wrong with me. And I think you guys trust me enough to be able to read these things and analyze very methodically what's going on, what's happening, and be able to discern and decipher. If it's not an endorsement, it's about the closest thing that is to one. I'm going to share with you this interview and why this is so impactful and revolutionary, especially after what happened last night in Trump's speech. Holy macadamia nut. If you missed that, we were live last night, the final day of the RNC. I'll talk about that a little bit. But I can almost guarantee you that Trump is going to use some of this clip or pay for it or what have you so he can use this as an ad, because I can't think of a better ad than what Zuckerberg says right here in this interview clip. Now, the reason why this is such a big deal, some of you might be saying, well, Nez, who cares about Mark Zuckerberg? Who cares about does anybody even go on Facebook anymore? Well, actually, I'm on Facebook. Follow me. I'm Professor Nez everywhere, at Professor Nez, Truth Social, Rumble, X, and Facebook. Yes, Facebook is still highly, highly relevant, even though a lot of maybe the young Gen Z millennials are not on there as much. It is a very, very viable platform. Never mind all the other products he's creating. But here's the big thing. Trump was banned from Instagram, banned from Facebook, much like Twitter banned Trump before Elon Musk bought it, during the so-called January 6th insurrection, alleged. Which there's a lot of evidence now that's come out that has really disproven all that. And Pelosi actually admitted on video she had a lot to do with it, if not everything to do with it. And this is why you guys are here, to get the truth. So he banned Trump and banned him from not only Facebook, but from Instagram. And just recently, not that long ago, reinstated both of Donald Trump's accounts on Facebook and Instagram. Now, I believe it was before Saturday. This is a lot of stuff has happened ever since the assassination attempt. It was before that for sure. However, this interview just happened, and I think this is really indicative of a beautiful spirit, an American spirit that is blanketing the landscape. I truly believe this. Let's watch this clip, which is phenomenal, and then I'll talk about what I mean. Stick around, you don't want to miss this.
I've done some stuff personally in the past. I'm not planning on doing that this time. And that includes, not endorsing either of the candidates. Now look, there's obviously a lot of crazy stuff going on in the world. The historic events over over the weekend. And on a personal note, it's, seeing Donald Trump get up after getting shot in the face and pump his fist in the air with the American flag is one of the most badass things I've ever seen in my life. But look, it's, and I think, look, it's, at some level as an American, it's like hard to not get kind of emotional about that spirit and that fight. And I think that's why a lot of people like the guy.
One of the most badass things he's ever seen in his life. Now, you tell me in the comments, if that's not an endorsement. He said I'm not going to endorse either of the candidates. He's definitely not going to endorse Tombstone Biden, the vegetable in chief. We all know that. He is literally, as I'm recording this, probably on his way out, even though there was a recent interview on MSNBC, of all places, with his top staff member saying he's definitely not going to leave the race. I think he is going to be forced out. If that's not an endorsement, what is? One of the most badass things I've ever seen in my life. It's hard not to get emotional with that kind of American spirit. Let me know in the comments, what do you think of that? What are your initial thoughts? What do you think the kind of impact that is going to have on the rest of the election? Again, Zuckerberg, Bezos, Musk endorsed, by the way, Elon Musk did endorse Donald Trump for president right after Saturday's egregious, awful event happened in Butler, Pennsylvania. And my hearts go out to the families of all of the attendees, as well as the families that suffered just unbearable loss with, Corey Compertor and others. He was fatally wounded and others being injured. The PTSD that's probably running rampant in that crowd, I can't even imagine, with the president as well. But these kinds of people like Bezos, Musk, Zuckerberg, that's why these celebrities, like Clooney and them, they carry Jack Black. They carry a lot of weight, especially somebody like Zuckerberg, way more than any of these celebrities, because highly successful, and these are successful in a whole other stratosphere, highly successful, not just people, but leaders of major entities, organizations, or what have you, corporations, whatever you want to call them, they carry way more weight than even in some instances politicians. A lot of people have looked at people like Jamie Dimon, the CEO of Chase Bank, as well as many, many other people in the business world. Mark Cuban, my God, I can't stand Mark Cuban. Mark Cuban's lost his mind, but he used to be taken seriously. I mean, now he's just all about DEI. It makes no sense at all. I think he's a DNC shill. He's lost all my respect. But having somebody like Zuckerberg, the fourth richest or third richest, he might even be the third richest person, I'm not entirely sure, person in the world, and probably one of the most successful people in American history. There's no doubt about that. There's no question about that. Saying that this is one of the most badass things he's ever seen in his life, and saying that it's hard not to get emotional, that is power. That is impact. That is influence. You could see by the interviewer, who looks like a staunch liberal. I could be wrong. I don't know anything about this Chang individual. You could see her face when he said that. She was like, whoa, you just said you're not going to endorse. I mean, her face, it was legible in her face. She literally made it appear like, my God, you said you weren't going to. Her face said this. You said you weren't going to endorse anybody, but Mr. Zuckerberg, you just did. Now, I really want to hear your thoughts on this. Let me know in the comments what your thoughts on this are. Does it mean something? Does it mean a lot? Does it mean nothing? Did he endorse, or did he just say something that was kind of, it seemed very authentic and from the heart for me? Was it planned, strategic, not strategic? Is it meaningless? Let me know in the comments down below. Now, everything has changed. I really, really concur with Tucker Carlson on this one. Everything has changed after what happened on Saturday in Butler, Pennsylvania. If you haven't seen Trump's speech last night, I have it on my channel. Go check it out. I mean, it's amazing. I think it's one of the most powerful speeches in political history. And I've, listened to Obama. I've listened to Clinton. I thought Clinton was a good orator. Reagan was a great orator in my lifetime. And JFK, obviously. I think it was one of the most important, most significant, most impactful speeches of all time. Something has changed. And I don't want us to get complacent, but what's happening is we are seeing a different energy. We are seeing a transformation. We are seeing a unity, a feeling of spirit, a feeling of fun, a feeling of enthusiasm, looking forward to a brighter future, and actually anticipating that brighter future being more than just a political talking point. That is a all-encompassing, embedded feeling that you just get, especially after his speech last night, but more importantly, maybe perhaps after what happened on Saturday. We are seeing a sort of a dichotomy here, sort of a conflated representation of two things happening simultaneously. We're seeing the Republican Party led by Donald Trump preaching, advocating, conveying a message of unity, coming together, prosperity, enthusiasm, inspiration. And on the other side, we're seeing a literal collapse of the Democratic Party. And we're seeing that in so many visceral formats, not just through the highways and byways of media, reports, journalists, et cetera, news and outlets and platforms and social media, but we're seeing it through actual palpable video footage, camera footage, because we believe our eyes and ears, as well as all the specialists, pundits, experts, independent media organizations like myself, who are echoing the same thing. This is a movement that I haven't seen. Some people are saying they haven't seen spirit like this since the 80s, since Ronald Reagan. They haven't seen a spirit like this since the 60s. Most of you probably, might not have been alive back then. If you were, let me know in the comments. Maybe you can comment on this. You have firsthand eyewitness accounts of that palpable energy, that palpable feeling of renewed pride, renewed hope, renewed joy, I almost want to say. That, man, the feeling of winning is coming upon us. The feeling of not just Trump, not just the Republicans, but America. It feels like we've been losing for so long that the powerful phrase, "Make America Great Again," has never felt more transcendent, more powerful and impactful than it does now. And we're seeing that, I think, especially, thank God. I mean, it was just a fraction of a millimeter that could have, it's amazing how history could have really, the pendulum could have swung based on that small margin of error. The pendulum could have swung to complete chaos on one hand. If God forbid he didn't turn his hand, I still can't believe we just lived through that. I mean, it still makes me emotional. It still makes me nuts. But on the other hand, what we have now, it's amazing that little small minutia, that atomic, maybe even subatomic disparity, that difference of the fork in the road in the universe and the fabric of time, existence, and history was so small, so, impossible to measure, that we averted catastrophic chaos. And here we are now, thank God. And I really say thank God in probably the most I've ever meant that phrase in my entire life. It literally is the hand of God. I can't think of it. It's providence. How else could you explain it? And so I think we're so fortunate. I think we're so lucky. And I honestly believe, I don't know how you can love this country, which in turn relates to prosperity for the world, because we're the leader of the free world, and not feel this, and not feel emboldened, not feel passionate about this, not feel inspired by this. We're winning. We're winning. And I hope to every fiber of my being that we win in November, but we cannot be complacent. I'm going to work like we're behind, and I want you to too. So I need you to tap that thumbs up, because it takes a nanosecond and it's free. Not for me. It has nothing to do with vanity, because it helps us push our videos out to more people. Just tap that thumbs up, leave a comment, share this with everybody you know, and we're well on our way. We need to work 10 times harder. These hypocrites are ruthless, cutthroat serpentines. They will do anything. Do not count them out. Yes, we're winning, but job not finished. Remember Kobe Bryant, job not finished. So I'm going to work 10 times as harder, and I want you to too. So I throw this off to you. Let me know what you think in the comments. I can't wait to read your comments. If you made it this far, in the pinned comment is our free newsletter. Become a Nez Nation Insider so you never miss out. Just in the pinned comment, show notes, and description, click on that link, and then the option to get a free newsletter will come up. Give us your best email, and you're in. We don't spam. I don't share your email with anybody. That is not the Nez Nation way. So check out these videos coming up on the screen right now. Subscribe, follow, and as always, may God bless you, and may God bless America. I'll see you soon.